Hey, Algebra 1. We're multiplying trinomials this week, so similar to last week, but this time we're going to just have three things in this bracket. This kind of thing will happen a lot in Algebra 2, so it's good to learn it. We're going to start with the kind where you've just got one bracket, and then move on to two brackets. Okay? Now, there's only a few questions in the worksheet this time, because this can be a little trickier for some people. So just try it. I won't be marking very harshly. As long as you try every question, you'll do well. Let me go over this. So we've done this before. This is just distributing. I just take what's in front, which is the 6, and I multiply it on everything afterwards. Right? So 6 times 4 is 24. I've got the r squared. 6 times negative 5 gives me the negative 30, and there's an r. And then 6 times negative 7 is negative 42. And that's the answer to that question. That's all it is. So the first 5 questions is just like that. Here's question 2. This one's just a bit harder because it's got a letter in front of it. But the method is the same. I'm going to multiply it on all of these. So first up, just think of it like, do the numbers first. 4 times 6, 24. And then p times p squared. If it helps, put a little 1 above that p. And remember, when you multiply like this, you add the powers. So p1 times p2 is p3. Right? Try and remember that. So I've done the first one. So now I do 4p times negative 7p. 4 times negative 7, negative 28. And then p times p, p squared. 1 plus 1, 2. Finally, 4p times negative 3. 4 times negative 3, negative 12. And don't forget to stick that p on there. And that's the answer for that. You can't add any of these together because they're all different powers of p. Okay? Same here. They're all different things. Now on number 6, you might be able to add some stuff together. So there's just a few of these questions. I'm going to do 6 and 7. You try 8 and 9. So just like we did here, we're going to take the first thing, p, and distribute it on these three things. So p times p squared is p3. P times 3p is 3p squared. And then p times 8 is 8p. So we've distributed the first thing, the p. Now we just use a different color. Distribute the 6. Distribute the 6 on all these things. So when you've got a question like this, think of it as you just have to distribute both things on the other bracket. Okay, so it's really similar to what we were doing here that way. 6 times p squared is 6p squared. 6 times 3p is 18p. And then 6 times 8 is 48. Run out of space almost. That's great. If you can do that, that's the most important thing. Then, just for bonus marks, see if you can clean it up. So I'll give you bonus marks for doing this in case you get anything else wrong. Just see if there's anything that goes together. So I can see that there's a 3p squared and a 6p squared. I can also see an 8p and an 18p. I can put both of those together. And then these two have nothing that go with them. My final answer then, p3, and then 3p squared plus 6p squared is 9p squared. 8p plus 18p is 26p. And I got my 48 on the end. There's a lot of different things in this question. We've got the multiplying with powers, and you add the powers, and then we've got the adding similar powers. If you're really confused, just do the first step, and then maybe try the next one if you feel like you can. So let's just move on finally and do number 7. So 7, same as 6. I'm going to take my first letter. My first thing is H. I'm going to distribute that on all of the other parts of that bracket. H times H squared, H3. H times 4H, 4H squared. H times 8, 8H. And I've made it so they're all positives in the middle of these, so you'll always have a plus in between each term. And then take your second thing, which is 7, and distribute that on these three things. 7 times h squared is 7h squared. 7 times 4h is 28h. 7 times 8 is 56. If you can do that, you're doing good. If you can then put together the similar powers, you're doing great. It's going to be like this. You see how it's like 2 red, 2 green, 2 red, 2 green? That's how it's going to work out for these questions. So final answer, H3, 4h squared plus 7h squared. 4 plus 7 is 11, so 11h squared. 8h plus 28h, 28 plus 8, 36h, and just stick that 56 on the end. So the worksheet isn't too long today. Do your best with it, because it can be a little bit harder for you though. Alright? Email me if you're struggling. Attendance word is Shrek. Alright? Shrek will do. Okay. I'll see you on Wednesday if you want to Zoom. Thanks, class.